Mine is Ravid, the Goin. Tied like the Goin. Are we live? All right, very good. It's okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakol niyeh b'dvaroi. I guess he's referring to yesterday's Gemara about a long Amen. He's doing it wrong on purpose. He's leaving. You got permission to leave, right? Who gave you permission to leave? I gave you permission. I don't remember, but... Today's daf, very interesting. A bunch of, if I got the story right, yeah. There's a individual in Baltimore who watches our daf religiously, and he's having a kidney transplant, right? He had. So his friends at the Social Security Administration office, that's where he works, they got together and they sponsored the entire day today for his refuah. Yitzchak ben Yehudis Duba, I think that's how you pronounce it. And maybe somebody could take this and hang it up behind me even, because they said that in front is a little Judah will have the honors because he's leaving and he wants to be remembered. Thank you. But to be like in, if it's in thing. And only one picture today, for today. No, this guy, look at this. He had to come up with a word for it. Marabu Masecha Hashem, it says here. I guess he's referring to the shear. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think he's talking about the water. I don't know.
Clearly you.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, there is an email here from Borough Park. Hi, Rebelli. All the way from Borough Park here. I lived in Borough Park, Maisa Shahaya, for one day. My parents moved to Borough Park for one night, and they moved back to Farakwe. They didn't like it. Or I think the landlord didn't like them. I don't know, whatever. I was too young to know what happened. But I did learn in Borough Park. I went to yeshiva there. Ketuv? Kidney. Very good. So today's sponsor, in today's daf, there's a kloyo. Where? I don't remember. But he says, kloyo. Okay, we'll find it. We'll have to find it.
You went to school in Borough Park?
No, I went to school in Borough Park. I went to Munkach, to Karlin, and to Skver. 3 Hasidish. Skver is not so Hasidish. It's on 14th Avenue and 45th Street. I think it's still there. Anyway, I learned the daf at night, and by the time I already have listened to your 8-minute daf, which enhances my understanding of the daf. I'm sure it requires quite a bit of time, and wanted to thank you for bringing out the daf with such clarity and precision. Thank you. Respectfully yours, Moshe David Friedlander from Borough Park. Yishkoyach Moshe David. All right. Zog the Heilige Gemara. Today is daf Mem Zayin, I believe.
Yes.
We're holding on the bottom. Toner Rabbanon. The bottom of daf Mem Vav, the base last line. Toner Rabbanon. Ein mechabdin loy b'drochim v'loy b'ksharim. There's no inyan of honor and covet when it comes to traffic and going on the way. And they explain. I grew up in New York, so I learned how to drive in Brooklyn, and I am one of the worst drivers around because of that. The training is over there. The way it works is like when you try to merge onto the, you're going on the, the FDR, and you try to get off. And the BQE, exactly, the BQE, so everybody, the normal people stand in line, but all the New Yorkers come to the front, but everybody's in from New York, so the second lane is bigger than the first lane, and then I moved to Chicago, and over there, everybody lets you go in. I was like, what's going on here? But then I realized it kind of makes more sense. When people are courteous to each other, it makes more sense, but the Gemara says not like that. So, if you try to let people in front of you, it messes everybody up. Sort of like, what is it called when you do the akafis on the Ishanas? And so other people want to make it first, they want to go around, so they cut other people off, but then they're causing the people in back of them to miss the circle, whatever, that kind of thing. So when you let somebody in front of you, it causes a delay behind, and that's not right for the other people, I guess. V'loy b'ksharim, and certainly not what? The gisharim is a sakana. Who says the drachim is because of that? Okay, but I saw different. Ben Yoina, that it's all sakana. I guess, yeah. If you're going to slow down, you're driving fast and you slow down, it could cause a rear end collision kind of thing. What? Well, watch. They had fast donkeys, so it was a whole different story. Somebody hit you?
No, suddenly the speed camera, everything very fast, suddenly we saw speed camera, everybody slowed down, the van behind
Hit you.
Too late, pushed the brakes, hit the curb, tumbled over, and flying.
True story. He said that if you didn't hear him, what he's saying is that he was on the expressway and all of a sudden there was a speed camera. So somebody pressed the brake real quickly, the van tried to stop, but missed it and flipped over and just went off the road and everybody continued going weiter. Nobody got tickets, Baruch Hashem. Loi b'drachim v'loi b'ksharim. But on the bridge, also, you don't give a Talmid Chacham a covered. Again, over there, the bridge is definitely because of a sakana, narrow bridges, wooden bridges, whatever they had in those days. V'loi b'yodayim zuhamois. And now when it comes to my machroinim vaser, you don't give covered to the chash of a person to wash before you. He has dirty hands. It's not a thing to do. However, we did learn that the fifth one before the end, he's the gadol. He gets to wash number 5, and he's the one that's mizamin. So number 5 will give him covered. But everybody else, from 100, if there was 100 people, we said yesterday, go all the way to 95, no covered. Everybody just washes, and from 5 to 0 also no covered. But number 5, you give him covered. Ravin Vabaye, great story. Or maybe just the clock is off. I don't know what it is. It's every day the same thing. So I'm just letting you know. Some people, they have to be. Ravin Vabaye, Kavli Borcha, Avkazli Borcha. Rabbi say, if you don't know the mice, I'm not going to say the whole story because he gets embarrassed when I say the whole story. But Levi is a prominent member of that soul of Bet Shemesh, and he came to my house to collect money for Bet Shemesh. In addition to owning his school, so he came to my house, and as he was out the door, I gave him a check. As he's walking, I said, and what about the daf? He goes, I really want to do it. I said, tomorrow morning, 7:15. So the next morning, he showed up at 7:15, and that was almost 2 years ago. He hasn't missed a day. He misses the first 5 minutes every day, but he hasn't missed a day, besides when he goes to America or whatever. Okay, and when he's on a call. What? Right, he doesn't realize that sometimes we actually... He just came from Eretz Yisrael, it says. With this... Gasly daite. What a chutzpah. He overtook me like that with his donkey. Now they get to the shul. All of a sudden, Rav is a derecheret. Shiva, Abaya, please go in first. All of a sudden, now you're calling me master? What, chopped liver on the highway? There's not. We're on the way. You give honor when there's a doorway that has a mezuzah. There's no doorways on the highway. No chiyuv for me to be mechabed you. As the Gemara, this mezuzah in, the last mezuzah loy. And where are they standing? They're standing in a beis medrash. Beis medrash doesn't have a mezuzah. Lamata beis knesses, beis medrash the lesbian mezuzah. Well, it's possible there was a mezuzah there, not a mezuzah. The point is, why? How is it possible that you only give kavod where there's a mezuzah? What connection does a mezuzah have to do with kavod? Elo ema bepetzach haroy mezuzah. A doorway that could have a mezuzah, whether it has a mezuzah or doesn't have a mezuzah, that's not negeh. I give kavod when there's a doorway. Our shuls have mezuzahs because we make a t'nai, you can eat, sleep here, whatever. But a shul that nobody sleeps in, nobody eats in, no mezuzah. You're asking Reshus now? There's plenty, look during the shir. Wow, nobody's sleeping. Wow, that's crazy. Once in a while, there's a guy that sleeps, and we let him go. You don't have to tell everybody. And when he does sleep, it's because he went to sleep at 3 in the morning or whatever. He told me. Okay, anyways. He only slept 3 times in 2 years. I'm counting. Amar Rav Yehuda bereder Shmuel bar Shelas b'shmei derav. Ein hamisubin rishoyin le'echol klum ad sheyitoim habitzea. A bunch of halachas today. Halachas that are going to get to us. When you're sitting at a meal and somebody, we're in trouble. Somebody get the shtender going quickly. Ein amesur mishorm lechol klum ad sheyitoim abu yitzeya. When you're in the meal and somebody is cutting the challah, the bread, and he's busy cutting, so sometimes, I guess la halacha, you should probably eat the piece of bread yourself. I don't want to go into different minhagim. It's most likely the best idea because less of a hefsek. I've seen people just cut and cut and cut, and then they give it out, and then they eat. If that's the case, the Gemara says, you shouldn't eat, as a guest, you shouldn't eat the piece of challah before the one that made hamaitzi eats the piece of challah. Taisus points out that if everybody has a roll, everybody has their own challah, then they could, because your bracha went on the roll. If the roll is not there, your bracha goes on the whole challah. Now you're eating the whole challah before them. The Mishnah Berurah points out, though, that on Shabbos, even if you have your own roll, you shouldn't eat before the guy that cuts the challah, because the guy that cuts the challah has lechem mishnah, which you don't have. So he should be yotzeh the lechem mishnah for you, and then you eat. Okay. And if a person, what?
It's not nice. Halacha, you can't eat beforehand. It's not rude. You just can't eat beforehand because that's...
No, we're not talking about rude. We're talking about halacha. When I make a bracha, I'm making everything for you. So I'm making the lechem mishnah for you. I'm doing a shalom for you. I'm doing everything for you. If you eat before me, then you don't have what I put into the challah. So I need to put in my lechem mishnah in there. I have to do everything for you. Then you eat afterwards. It's more of a halachic reason than rudeness. Rudeness we're going to see in a second. Yozar Rav Safar ka'omar litoim itmar. So he said that Rav said, what did he say in the name of Rav? He was quoting Rav. He said, "Ein amasuvim rishoyim le'echol." They shouldn't eat. Those around the table shouldn't eat before the balabas. Rav Safar says no. He didn't say eat. He said taste. No, but there's no difference between tasting and eating. It's the same thing. If you're going to quote Rav or any Rebbe, you might as well say it in the exact words that Rav said, and Rav said lutoim, so that later in later generations we don't have mistakes. Everything is very precise. If you have two people eating from a communal plate, so in other words, they're eating together, and one of them decides he has to go get a drink. He gets up, leaves. It's proper, this is rudeness. It's proper for the person waiting back to wait for him. Don't continue eating. Yeah, don't continue eating. It's proper dinner etiquette. When he comes back, then you continue eating. Shloisha ein mamtinim. However, if one out of the three got up to get water, that's his problem. Now he's the minority, we don't have to wait for him. It's not halacha, it's good manners. It's brought down halacha. It's in halacha, but you're not over like an isser. You're not going to get malchus for it. It's the right thing, the nice thing to do. It's brought in halacha. Sometimes you have halachas that are not like you have to do this. This is, the Gemara recommends it. You're supposed to act like a mensch. It's not menschlich when he gets up and goes and you continue eating, and now he's going to be behind you, and then you're going to want to leave before whatever. We eat together. What?
When you're sharing one bowl.
Right. I mentioned it's a communal bowl, but okay. So you mean maybe the pshat is that you're going to eat more than him. The bowl has X amount of food, and he gets up to get his drink. Now you're chopping more. You have an advantage over him. Maybe that's pshat. All right. Rabbi Yeshua, if anybody's wondering, Rabbi Yeshua is in the Hermon skiing, but he's watching the daf right now. So hi Yeshua, thanks for being with us. The one that cuts the challah, he gets to start the meal. He gets the first dip. He grabs the whatever's there, the fish. He gets to start first. And if he wants to give honor to someone that's greater than him, that's fine. Unlike we said by cutting the bread, that the balabas does it. Rav Barbachano have a osik leile brei, Bei Rav Shmuel bar Rav Katino. I don't know how many times you already had in the Masechta that people were making chasanas. So Rav Barbachano was marrying off his son to Rav Shmuel bar Rav Katino. Kodem Yosef to Rav Shmuel bar Rav Katino's daughter. Kodem Yosef v'komasin leile brei. Now, we do this today also. You get this giant chasam challah, and he cuts the challah in front of everybody. So he goes over to his son and says, listen, I don't want you to look like a fool, in front of the video, the whole thing. You have to know the halachas. Let me explain to you what goes on here. So he gives him the halachas. Ein aboitzeya reshoy liftzoya ad sheyichle omein mipi oinim. So we learned that you should not cut the bread. What was it yesterday? You shouldn't cut the challah until you finish with the bracha. You don't say bracha min haaretz and start cutting. You finish and you cut. Now amen is a continuation of the bracha. It's one long bracha. So you don't have a right to cut the challah until you finish with the bracha, which includes amen as well. What about the big tzaddik?
What about the shita say you would pursue my bracha?
Okay, yeah, but we don't go like that. Or
He doesn't have
yeah. How do we paskin? We paskin afterwards, like Rav, I think it was. So now you have a big tzaddik. Amen. 2-minute amen. Now what? You have to sit there and wait. Says the Gemara, what? I told you about my story. There was a guy that I knew. I do know a guy like that. He's a Rosh Yeshiva in a yeshiva in Bnei Brak, and he used to come to Chicago, and he did something like that. Yeshiva Rabbi, right? Okay. How about Lishmaya Kol Shofar? Amen. We do it, but maybe that's a little different. The point. Let's see for a second. Says the Gemara. No, you don't have to go by that one tzaddik. What's the difference? If even one person is still in the middle of saying amen, that means your bracha is not over yet. A person that says a very long amen is making a mistake. I don't have to be considerate to the person that's making a halachic mistake, a halachic error. Why? Taisus explains that when you say a very long amen, exceptionally long, then you're not pronouncing the word correctly. There's something wrong with the word. Amen, it's wrong. As we're going to see soon, there is an inyan to say a nice long amen. Longer, but not exceptionally long. Fine. Tarabana. Ein oinim lo amen chatufa. V'lo amen ketufa. V'lo amen yisoima. So, we have here different amens that if you do any of these and look at the lashon of the Gemara, chatufa, you said it quickly, ketufa, you picked it early. So what happens? Rahman al-Islam, you could lose days of your life from it. What are these things? Chatufa is that you put a shva under the aleph. Instead of saying amen, you say imen, imen. Basically, you're not pronouncing the word correctly. Ketufa means that you drop the nun at the end. You say amay instead of amen. That's how they pronounce things. That's how the derech is. What?
That's the minnow. That's something else.
Yeah, chataf means a shva, and that's how they call it. Yeah. What? Right. Yeah. So he brings up a good point. According to Rashi, chatufa means that he's saying amen with a shva. He says chatav means a shva. There are others that learn that it means that you're saying amen. You hear? You're saying I can't say it. There are others that learn other than Rashi that amen chatufa means that you're saying amen before the chazan finished. What happened? I didn't know.
I'm just educating him.
What's the other pshat of chatufa? You hear the other pshat of chatufa? The other pshat of chatufa is that you say amen before the chazan finishes his bracha. That.
I do.
Why?
I just comes out. I say amen a lot of times before.
Okay, so we're not gonna. If that's the case, we have to skip the next line here. Yeah, we're not gonna say what the Gemara says about a person like that. No, but we can do tshuva now.
It's not on purpose.
It's not on purpose. Okay. V'lo yomi yisayma v'lo yizrok bracha mepiv. V'lo yizrok bracha mepiv. This, I think, we're all a little bit guilty of. we say brachas like as if it's a burden. I got to say the shackle because I have to say it. You don't even know what you're saying. You should think about what you're saying. Oh, Yisoima I didn't explain. Yisoima is very important. Yisoima is when you don't hear the bracha. So how does that happen? You hear other people saying Amen, so you say, oh, Amen also. But you didn't hear the Chazan at all. You don't know what he's saying. So ask Rashi and Tosfos the same question. What about in Alexandria, the famous Alexandria? There's a shul with thousands of people, and a guy put up a flag, but you didn't hear the bracha. It says Tosfos that's okay, because you knew where he's holding. So Tosfos and Rashi is saying a big aside here, that if you know what the bracha is, you just didn't hear it, you're holding with the bracha. You happen, and everybody says Amen, you can answer Amen. Like in shul, sometimes it happens, the young chazan is very, very quiet. You know where he's holding. That's not the end of the world.
Some was also a late Amen, delayed.
According to some, yeah. Or delayed. Now, by the way, it happens to be. I don't want to ruin it for Nachman because he wants to do tshuva, but it happens to be if it's dibur. Then you don't have. It's not that the starkness of this halacha is toich dibur. So Shalom Aleichem Rabbi Mori. So you should still be makbet to say it after the chazan. Just I don't know if you're going to die because of this. If it's with toich dibur. V'lo yizur brachim piv. Nachman is happy. Benazay Omer, Kolo Oina Omen Yisoima, you ban of Oivei. You ban of Yisoimim. Chatufa is Chat v'Yomov. Ketufa is Kat v'Yomov. V'Kol HaMarba Amen. Ma'arichim LaYomov U'Shnaisav. And if you prolong Amen, but Tosfos points out right away. We said before, it's not okay to say a long Amen. Too long. So you have to know in between, not crazy. What a nice, b'mesinos, a nice Amen. Says Gemara, Rav Shmuel have Yasif B'Sudasa. Also Rav Shimi Bar Chia have a commissar v'achal. So you have Rav and Shmuel eating a meal. Rav Shimi comes along and he starts rushing through his meal. Why is he rushing? Rav understands. Amar lei Rav, my daitach this teruv ba'adon. You probably want to join us. We're only two people. You want to be the third for Zimun. So you figure if you eat really quickly. But when did he start? He started all the way at the end. Says the Gemara, Anan achlin. Says Rav, we finished already. What are you doing? You're not going to be mitzdarf. Amalei Shmuel, and this is the halacha, ilu maisili ardilaya. Rav apparently loved mushrooms. So, if you brought me mushrooms for dessert, Nebuch, in those days, can you imagine the desserts? We have like these 7-layer things and the ice cream. If you bring me the mushrooms for dessert, you probably would love it and you'd continue eating. So, Mela, your meal is not over yet. Sorry, he himself liked the mushrooms because the mushrooms and because Zelaya for Rav. Rav liked the birds, the chicklings. Mila echlina, you would continue eating. And memela, if you're at a situation in a meal and you didn't say Rabbi Yisrael Nevarach, let's bench already. Once you say let's bench already, it's all over as we had. But if you're just sitting around and the meal is kind of over, there's no food out. However, if they would bring the dessert, you continue eating, then the meal is still going on, and a third person could be even starve. Tell me that the Rav Yasu B'Sudoso, yeah, we had the whole sugya. The table away, he said it's over, they took away the food, whatever the pshat over there is.
They have to make a new bracha.
What?
If they bring these desserts unexpectedly,
Yeah.
they have to make a new bracha.
New bracha has no relation to the Suda. The Suda keeps on going, and you have to make a new bracha on desserts. We said almost all desserts you have to make a new bracha, especially fruits and shahakals. You would have to make a new bracha. The only question is on mezainis is whatever. Talmid Rav Yasif Sudoso all Ravacha Amri. So now all the Talmidim are sitting around. Ravacha walks in. So they said, "Osagav Rabbi de Mevarchlon, great. Let this gadol bench for us." Zimun. Amarlo misavrisa the gadol mevarach. Ikon shebesud mevarach. Whoever was there from the beginning, he should make the zimun. V'hilchasa gadol mevarach afagav da'asel b'soif. At the end of the day, the most important person, prominent person, he's the one that should do zimun. Although we saw Mefurish yesterday at the end of yesterday's daf, we saw twice, the Rebbe gave permission to Rav to be Mizamen. Now Rebbe was the most chashuv one. A gadol, you could, if he wants to, he could give it over to somebody else. Achad Mai. Going back to the Mishnah. Who's mitzdaref to Zimun? So the Mishnah has a whole list of things. Person that ate Dmai. Dmai, he bought fruit from an Amaretz that we don't know if he was mafresh trumas and maisris. So he could be mitzdaref. The food is good. But why is the food good? You're not allowed to eat Dmai. Says the Gemara, Kivin di boy mafkelo lenichsei. Vava oni v'chazilei. So Rashi, I think it's on Beis. No, Rashi over here. The Roiv Ameoritz Master Mehem, Rashi says. V'chumra derabbanan ba'almahu. It's a very important Rashi. Rashi says that this whole Dmai is a chumrah. There's a derabbanan and there's a chumrah derabbanan. There's a Isser derabbanan and there's a chumrah derabbanan. This is just a chumrah. Because most Amoratzim, they do take Meiser. So it's a chumrah. So we're very lenient with this chumrah. And we say, since a poor person could eat Dmai, and since a Jewish soldier could eat Dmai, according to one Pshat and Tosfos, so Dmai is not the end of the world. And you, yes, you're wealthy, but you could become a poor person instantaneously by just declaring all your nechasim hefker on the spot. You become poor. So you have that option, amigui, of becoming poor, and Dmai is okay for a poor person. So you could be mitzdarf. But there's a chiddush here. Don't think that it goes without a chiddush. The fact that the Mishnah says that you're eating Dmai is a big chiddush. It's not machilim sanim Dmai v'sachsanya Dmai. A poor person could eat Dmai. Not tevel. You can't give him food that doesn't have trumas and meiser. You can give him food that has a suffix. Fine. Meiser rishon shenitl trumasai. What? Nachsanya, Taisus brings like these traveling soldiers that you are mechuyev to take care of them. One pshat is that they're Jewish, another pshat they're not Jewish. Bekitzer, people that depend on you, they're like Kenyan. Actually, we once had, and now that you're just reminding me, a traveling rich person has halacha sometimes of ani, we learned. Because where he's at right now, he doesn't have any money. I forgot where we had it. We just had a few mesechtas ago. They need this somewhere. Where? Mishnah and Peah. We don't learn Peah. We're in Daf Yomi. But thanks. But I think we saw it somewhere else. What? Yeah. Rashi here says that he said that the traveling. I'm just saying that even a rich person. Yeah, fine, very good. Rashi here can be dying from Rashi here. Ma'aser Rishon Shel Nitru. What do you say? Yeah. Okay. What time is it? Oive, 17 minutes. Ma'aser Rishon Shel Nitru, and it's longer than this one. Pshita, if Ma'aser Rishon that you took the truma, of course it's okay. Like tzricha, so what happens? Nachama. I made a different chart. Remember the other chart? Here's the other one. I redid it a little bit. You're supposed to take first Truma G'dayla. Then you take 10% and you give it to the Levi. Meiser Sheni will ignore for a second. Trumas Meiser is what the Levi takes. When he gets his 10%, he takes another 10% from his own 10% and gives it to the Kohen. So if that's the case, the Yisrael gave Meiser, and the Levi took his Trumas Meiser from the Meiser. Everything's great. So what's the chiddush that he could be mitzdarf? That's what we do. Every food is like that. No? Trumas Meiser. Says the Gemara, what happened was they skipped step number 1. There was no Truma G'dayla. Nobody ever separated 2% from the fruit to give to the Kohen. While it was still b'shibolim, it was still in its husk, in the whatever you call it, the shibolim, he went and gave it to the Levi. Now, by the way, if you go out of order, you can get malchus. It's a lav deraisa to go out of order. You can't give the ma'aser rishon before you take truma g'dayla, and if you do, you get malchus with that straw. Fine. So now, whose responsibility is it to give the truma g'dayla? Who has the Truma G'dayla right now? The Levi has a little bit of Truma G'dayla in his fruit because it wasn't taken away. Says the Gemara, the Levi does not have to give his small, tiny share, 0.2% or whatever it is, to the Kohen. So the Levi should take Meiser, he should take 10%. Look at this. He's taking 10% from what? From the 10% that was given to him. That's Meiser min ha-Meiser. But that's it. One time he takes Meiser min ha-Meiser. He's not mechuyev to do what the Yisrael missed. For the most part. If it was taken bikri, meaning it wasn't finished yet. They didn't do miruach. They didn't finish the pile. And now we have to remember this. Rabbi said, please remember these words here. Rav Papa tells Abaya, the last line on Mem Zayin Omid Aleph. That's what we have to remember. That Rav Papa tells Abaya, if so, What happens if he was Magdim Bakri Nami? In other words, we were talking about Shibolim. It was in its husk, unfinished product. But Bakri, it's already finished. So if it was in a pile and the Yisrael didn't give Truma G'dayla, and he just went ahead and gave 10% of the pile to a Levi, so you're going to tell me perhaps the Levi doesn't have to give his share of Truma G'dayla from that amount also, even though it's finished. Now it's finished. Amarlei, Olecha Makra, Abaya tells him, no, you are wrong, Rapapa. Mikol Masrei Seichem Emzanom Beis Torimu. That a Levi is mechuyev to give. Listen to this. All of a sudden, a Levi does have to give step number one. If the Yisrael misses step number one, and he got all the way to a finished product, and then he gives it to the Levi is mechuyev to give step number one, Truma G'dayla, from his finished product that he receives. From his 10%, he should give 0.2% to the Kohen. You're shocking me. You're online. What are you doing over here? No? The what? Oh, Yivaldi, you saw it online? Yeah. Real quick, because we're running out of time. Yeah?
Yeah, in Israel, when you buy a product and percent pays taxes, you have to pay them.
Wow. If somebody doesn't pay taxes, you have to pay it instead of him if you buy a house?
Yeah. Because you're supposed to withhold money.
I hear. And that's a finished product. Only if it's a finished product, but if it's an unfinished house on paper, you don't have to, the Gemara says. Fine. So the Gemara. So what's the pshat? Umaru Isa. So how do you choose which pasuk goes for what? Hayidgan v'lo yidgan. Whence there's a chiyuv, chal, there's a chiyuv of giving the truma and the meiser because it's already finished product. Then the Levi is mechuyev to give his truma g'dayla. Meiser sheni v'egdish shenivdu. So step number 3 over here for the owner. Really, Trumas Meiser maybe step number 3. Let me show it. The owner has to give Truma G'dayla, has to give Meiser Rishon, Meiser Sheni on years 1, 2, 4, 5, right? He has to give Meiser Sheni. And if he doesn't bring the fruit up to Yerushalayim, he has to redeem them with money. As the Gemara, so you redeemed it, everything's great. So what's the problem? Why can't you eat the fruit? Oh, he forgot to give the extra chaimish, the 20%. You have to add an extra 20% if you redeem your own fruit. If your friend redeems from you, he doesn't have to give a chaimish. You redeem your own fruit, you have to add another chaimish. So you add, if it's worth $1, it's $1.20, and you bring that to the Beis Hamikdash, to the 25 milabar. You're right, milabar, milel, yeah, fine. $1.25. It's a chaimish, 20% after you're finished, and you bring that money to Yerushalayim. But he didn't give the $1.25. Only gave $1. He only redeemed with $1. What can you do with that money, Rabbi? So you go to Yerushalayim real quickly. What do you do with the money? You have to buy what? Food. But he just redeemed fruit. So does he have to? Could he buy steak? Could he go into a restaurant? Yes. He could also buy shampoo, sicha. But he could buy any b'chol shetav nafshecha. Anything. Asham ishocha gezayis. Pshita. The Gemara takes this as a pashut thing that the waiter running back and forth, he could be starved to the zimun even because he ate a kazayis. Mal the same shamish likova. Komash malon. This is a tremendous chiddush actually. A shamish, he doesn't sit down with you. He's running back and forth. Not only that, he's standing. Yet he has a halacha as if he's part of Yisuda. So what if I'm standing? And what if I'm running back and forth? No. Only the shamish has this halacha because he's part of your meal. Because he's serving on you. But if you're just a regular guy standing around, he's eating. Yeah, he ate a kazayas. He's eating. I guess he took the food from you. That's the chiddush, that he's part of your meal. Bakusi mizam nadav. Ask the Gemara, why is the kusi amay lo yelo am oretz? This kusi should not be any better than am oretz. V'tanya imizam nimala am oretz. You should not include am oretz into your zimun. We're talking about a kusi that's a Talmid Chacham. He's makbid on whatever chaverim are makbid in the Tumah v'Tahara. Rav Amar afilu tema b'kusi am oretz. It could be a regular kusi. We're talking about a specific am oretz, the sanya. In those days, they were extremely makbid on Tahara. Famous Gemaras, the guy was dying, get the body out of it. Like they killed somebody and said, get this body out of here. Like they're more makbid on Tahara than on killing, the Gemara thought. But anyways, very makbid. So if Amar is not so makbid on Tahara, he's considered Amar. A person that's not makbid on Tahara, he's considered Amar. And this is what we're looking for. If somebody doesn't know how to do Trumas Maasros, he's Am Haaretz. And therefore what? We can't be mizam with him because the food that he's eating is not the proper food. But a kusi does take Trumas Maasros properly. Why? Asur Masik the Chazi. The Mai the Chsid B'Raisim is a ziri. What's a kusi? Kusi takes all the rices and he's makbid on it. The Amar Mar, Kol Mitzvah Shech Ziku B'Kusim, Harbe Medaktim B'Yosim Yisrael. A kusi that keeps a mitzvah in the Torah like Trumas Maasros, he does it better, unfortunately, than a Jew himself. So Mela, I could be mizamin with him, but not with an Am Haaretz. Tanur Rabbanon Ezu Am Haaretz. What's considered Am Haaretz? Kol Sheini Kari Kriya Shema Arvis V'Shachris. So according to this pshat, we're good. I hope. Most of us say Kriya Shema in the morning and the evening. We're not Am Haaretz. We're not Am Haaretzim. Divrei Rebbe Eliezer. Rebbe Shua Eimer, Kol Sheini Miniach Tefillin. If you don't wear tefillin, you're Am Haaretz. Ben Azar Eimer, Kol Sheini Tzitzis B'Vigdoi. Am Haaretz if you don't wear tzitzis. Oh, here. Unprepared, but we have one set left. Where's Yossi Rudensky? I think he wants one of these. But anybody that wants to accept upon himself to wear, Matt is giving me the eyes. What? About tzitzis? So I have to ask the guy. He's in the room. The guy that sponsored. Do not turn around. Could somebody on YouTube also get this tzitzis? He's not answering. Okay, good move. Good move. Basically, the deal is, and there's more. If this is the first time you're wearing tchelas and you're going to wear tchelas, this is for free. It's over 200 shekel. I just bought a couple of pairs the other day for my son. 200 shekel. If you don't send your kids to learn Torah, you're considered Am Haaretz. And this is what we pass in halacha. Even if you learned, and we'll see what you learned, and you don't serve a Talmud Chacham, explains Rashi. What does it mean you don't serve a Talmud Chacham? Very interesting. You don't learn Gemara. Gemara is the explanation of Torah, and if you just base your Torah on Chumash and Navi or whatever, and Mishnayos, and you don't know the halachas that come out of the Mishnayos, you don't know how to explain it, then you're Am Haaretz. You learn Gemara, you're not Am Haaretz. Now Tosfos points out that we do have Am Haaretzim sometimes in our Suda, and we're Mizamin with them. People that are not learned people, they didn't go to yeshiva, they didn't learn Gemara, they're Am Haaretzim. Why is it? Says Tosfos is very interesting, because if you're not Mizamin with them, they will go and make their own religion, says Tosfos. They'll make a bama. That means they're going to go out and make it, so you can't insult them. However, the Mishmur Paskins, that's somebody that goes off the derech, lahachis, and he does averis, you're not allowed to be mizam with him. It's negel and maisa. Omer Avuna, Rabbi Bar Chama, lo yazmin alei the Rabbi Menashe bar Tachlifa. Unbelievable story. Rabbi Bar Chama has this Talmud Chacham in front of him called Rabbi Menashe bar Tachlifa, and the Tani Sifra v'Sifri v'Hilchasa, he learned Sifra, Sifri, halachas, and he says, I'm not going to allow you to be one of my three. Why? Because he held his Am Haaretz. He didn't learn Gemara. He didn't serve Talmid Chachamim. Rav explained, the reason why he was nifter is because he didn't allow Rabbi Menashe bar Tachlifa to be mizamen. I saw an incredible pshat from the Ben Ish Chai in the Ben Yehoyada, not the Ben Yehoyada, the other sefer. He wrote 2 Sfarim on Shas. What's Ben Yehoyada? What's the other one called? Ben Yahu? Yeah, Ben Yahu. The second time around, he wrote another sefer on Shas. He called it something else. But Kitzur, he writes an unbelievable pshat here. The famous story that Rav Chizda's daughter, he asked a question. He says, why did Rav feel he has to announce to everybody why he was nifter? He says like this. Rav Chizda's daughter saw Baruch HaKodesh that she's going to marry Rava and Rami Bar Chama. And she said it. She said, I'm going to marry both of you. So Rava said, I'm second. In other words, I rather that Rami Bar Chama die first, and I marry. Says the Yehoyada, says the Ben Ish Chai, so Rava had announced, wait a minute, I didn't kill him. It's not because of me. He died because he was Mavayish Rav Tachlifa. Maybe he could have got divorced and I would have been second. He didn't have to die, and the reason why he died is because of this. Nice pshat, huh?
Very.
V'tanya acherim oimrim. It's not in the article, I don't think, this pshat. V'tanya acherim oimrim afilu kor v'shon. This should be in the article. Somebody should call them up and say, this is one of these pshat that has to go in. But wait a minute, why did he die? He deserved to die because he was Amoretz. I'm sorry, not he deserved to die. He deserved not to be part of the Zimun. Rami Bar Chama shouldn't have died for such a thing. He did the right thing for not being mitzaref him, because it says afilu kor v'shon l'shim shtam chachamim harei zamoretz. Says the Gemara Shani Rabbi Nashvi Tachlifa the Mishamalu Rabbanon. He did do it. Rami Bar Chama just didn't know that. He did learn Gemara. Rami Bar Chama who deloi daga basrei. Rami Chama didn't realize. Lishna achrin the shama shmaitzim mipumayu the Rabbanon v'garzlu. This all fits in because the first time I read it without Rashi, I thought he didn't serve Talmid Chachamim. So how does it fit in? No, Rashi explains he didn't serve Talmid Chachamim to learn Gemara from them. So the Gemara explains no, he listened to Chachamim. He didn't really serve them and hear all the Gemara, but he would take these halachas from them and he would chazer it over, and then that made him like somebody that learned Gemara from a Talmid Chacham. Kitzurim Rabbarim Dami. If a person eats tevel that there's no trumas meiser, of course he cannot be mitzdarif. That's illegal food. How can he be part of my zimun? We're talking about derabanan. In other words, it's in a planter that didn't have holes, so it doesn't nourish from the ground. So derabanan, only derabanan you have to take trumas meiser from midiraisa, so you're good. And nevertheless, you can't be mitzdarif to my zimun. Meiser rishon. Pshita, a guy gave Meiser Rishon, and the Levi didn't take Trumas Meiser. Of course it's no good. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. That he did take Trumas Meiser. He took Trumas Meiser, but the Yisrael didn't take Truma G'dayla. Mao the same So you remember in the last line of that Mem Zayin Amdal for a puppet told Abaya that if he takes it from a finished product, the Levi shouldn't have to give anything. And Abaye answered him, no. There is a situation when the Levi does have to do step number one and take over where the Yisrael messed up, and that's when the Levi receives a finished product, Bikri, then he does have to give the Truma G'dayla. Meiser Sheni, if he didn't take Meiser Sheni, then what's the chiddush? Of course he can't eat it. Of course he can't be mitzdarif. Pshita leitzricha shenivdu v'lo nivdu gilchasan. It was done, but not done correctly. Meiser Sheni, how's that happen? Kigon shipada agabe asima. And you're supposed to use what kind of money do you use? Minted coins. He used a flat coin. Rachman Omar v'tzada kesef b'yadcha. Kesef sheyesh lo l'tzura. Hegdish shechila agabe karga v'lo b'doy b'kesef. And how does it work with the hegdish? You did it, but you didn't do it properly. Somebody's makdish fruit, you went along and you redeemed it with real estate instead of doing with cash. Rachman Omar v'nostana kesef become loy. If the waiter didn't in kazayis, of course he's not mitzdaref. You're right, pshito. I did a ton of reisha kazayis, ton of sefer pachas kazayis. There's no chiddush. It's only because the reisha says that he ate a whole kazayis, so we just follow suit. But there's no chiddush in it. Pshito. Who thought that you could be mitzdaref a goy to zimun? We're talking about a ger that went through half of the process. He had milah, but he didn't do tefillah. If he doesn't do tefillah, he's still considered a full-fledged goy that's not mitzdaref. A little baby, you could be mitzdaref him for zimun. The Mishnah says Mefurish, you should not use a cotton for your zimun. What he's saying is, if there's 9 people, I could be mitzaref a baby to make the 10, as we're going to see. I could even use a slave as number 10. By the way, in our Vesikim in New York, the Rosh Yeshiva of the Mir, I have to ask my father who it was, but I was there, and he said we didn't have a Vesikim, we had Vesikim in our house every week in Kensington, and the Rosh Yeshiva was there, and he said we could use a cotton. We said Kaddish and everything with a cotton that was holding a chumash. Big, because it's Vesikin, v'chulu, v'chulu. Okay, we're not going to go into it. But here, Tisha B'Av Mitzdarfen, Meisvei. Meisvei Rebbe Lezer, Shenichnas L'Beis HaKnesset V'Limotza Asara. Yeah, a cotton with a chumash. Says the Gemara, why did Rebbe Lezer have to free a slave? He walked the shul, there's 9 people, and his slave. He says, you know what, the slave I just paid $100,000 for, you're free to go, I need a minion. But he couldn't say that this is a tzir. Why do you have to free him? We just said that 9 and a slave is okay. Says the Gemara, the minion only had 8. So he already freed he freed one slave, and he used his second slave as a tziruf. Yes, he did use a slave as a shichur. At the end of the day, there's an isser to set your slave free. It's mitzvah. So we're saying like this: for a mitzvah, you're allowed to be over, but it's a mitzvah against an avera. It's mitzvah the Rav Shani. Since we want to say kaddish b'tzibur, you're allowed to free your slave. Have a wonderful day.